The Flathead Indian Reservation, located in western Montana on the Flathead River, is home to the Bitterroot Salish, Kootenai, and Pend d'Oreille tribes, also known as the Confederated Salish and Kootenai tribes of the Flathead Nation. The reservation was created through the July 16, 1855, Treaty of Hellgate, and reservation has land on 4 of Montana's counties: Lake, Sanders, Missoula, and Flathead. The Flathead Indian Reservation, west of the Continental Divide, consists of 1,938 square miles of forested mountains and valleys. History: Native Americans have lived in Montana for more than 14,000 years, based on archaeological findings. The Bitterroot Salish came from the west coast, whereas the Kootenai lived mostly in the interior of present-day Idaho, Montana, and Canada. The Kootenai left artifacts in prehistoric time. One group of the Kootenai in the northeast lived mainly on buffalo hunting. Another group lived on the rivers and lakes of the mountains in the west. When they moved east, they could rely less on salmon fishing, but turned to eating plants and buffalo. During the 18th century, the Salish and the Kootenai tribes shared gathering and hunting grounds. As European American settlers entered the area, the peoples came into conflict. In 1855, the United States made the Treaty of Hellgate, by which it set aside a reservation solely for the Flathead. Although the tribe opposed European-style allotments and farming, the U.S. Congress passed the 1904 Flathead Allotment Act. After allotments of land to individual households of members on the tribal rolls, the government declared the rest surplus, and opened the reservation to homesteading by whites. United States Senator Joseph M. Dixon of Montana played a key role in getting this legislation passed. Its passage caused much resentment by the Flathead, and the allotment of reservation lands remains a very sensitive issue. The Flathead would like to regain control of the reservation lands. The area was favorably compared to the Yakima River Valley in Washington state. Thousands of acres on the reservation were reserved for townsites, schools, and the National Bison Range. The Flathead were given first choice of either 80 or 160 acres of land per household. The rest was made open to whites in 1910. A total of 81,363 applications by whites were received for 1,600 parcels of land. The applications were placed in plain brown envelopes, piled onto a pallet, and 3 young girls drew 6,000 of them, choosing who would have a chance to homestead on the land. The first 3,000 were notified in the spring and the second 3,000 were notified in the fall, but lottery winners took only 600 tracts, leaving 1,000 tracts still open. These were taken in what the tribe considers a subsequent land grab. According to the treaty, the tribes have the right to off-reservation hunting, but the state believed it could regulate those activities. State game wardens were responsible for the confrontation that led to 4 deaths, what is known as the Swan Valley Massacre of 1908. Geography and ecology. All but the northern tip of Flathead Lake is part of the reservation. Flathead Lake lies in the northeast corner of the reservation, with most of the reservation to the south and west of the lake. Part of the Mission Mountains range is on the reservation. The western end of the range is protected by the Mission Mountains Tribal Wilderness, and the eastern end of the range is protected by the Mission Mountains Wilderness. Parts of the Bob Marshall Wilderness are nearby. Recent years have seen a decline in the numbers of native fish species, which includes bull trout, westslope cutthroat trout, northern whitefish, and northern pike minnow. Non-native species includes Yellowstone cutthroat trout, brook trout, rainbow trout, brown trout, lake whitefish, black bullhead, kokanee salmon, yellow perch, northern pike, largemouth bass, and smallmouth bass. Hunting fur-bearing animals is prohibited. Hunting of these birds by non-natives is permitted. Hungarian partridge, pheasants, ducks, geese, mergansers, and coots. Other animals that cannot be hunted by non-natives are elk, white-tailed deer, mule deer, grizzly bear, and moose. Wolves, bison, swans, and falcons are also present. Demographics. The population of the reservation was 28,324 as of the 2010 census, an 8% increase over the 2000 census. But non-Indians outnumbered Indians by 2 to 1. The largest community on the reservation is the city of Polson, which is also the county seat of Lake County. The seat of government of the Confederated Salish and Kootenai tribes of the Flathead Nation is Pablo. Economy. The tribes derive most of their income from selling timber, revenue from Kootenai, the Kootenai Resort and Casino in Polson, and SNAMP-K Holding, an electronics manufacturing firm. Salish Kootenai College is a community college located in Pablo. Points of interest. Flathead Indian Museum, St. Ignatius. Flathead Lake State Park. The Garden of 1,000 Buddhas. Kicking Horse Reservoir. Mission Mountains Tribal Wilderness. The National Bison Range. Pablo National Wildlife Refuge. Moyers. Nine Pipe National Wildlife Refuge and State Wildlife Management Area. St. Ignatius Mission, St. Ignatius. The People's Center, Pablo. Communities. There are 26 places on the reservation that are officially recognized by the Census Bureau. Only 8 of them are majority Flathead. Whites own about 1/3 of the land on the reservation. Previously whites owned most of the reservation, but the tribe has been steadily buying back the land over many years.